Bono, the lead singer of U2, once said that all music is worship music. I think what he was driving at is that everybody worships something. We're all in this process of giving our adoration to something. It's part of what we were built for as human beings. Studies have actually shown that music with violent lyrics affects our mood negatively, and conversely, music with uplifting lyrics tends to impact us more positively. We resemble that which we revere, and we were built to worship God. We are formed by that which we worship. And that's why it's so important for us to gather regularly to worship God, to remember who He is, because He is worthy of our worship. In fact, that's what the word worship actually means, to give worth to something. Now, obviously, we are not giving any more worth to God than He already has. He's the creator of the universe. He doesn't need us to give Him anything. But when we assign worth to God, it's actually something that is happening in our hearts. We are giving to Him our adoration and praise, allowing Him to occupy that space in our life that should be reserved for Him alone. He gets to be the God and Lord of our lives, not us or something else that we might adore. God tells us that every good and perfect gift comes from Him, and so we take time to return thanks for those gifts, to recognize that He's the one in charge, that He has given us gifts, and we return a portion of our gifts, our thanks, our praise to Him for all that He has done for us. And this has a profound impact on our lives too. Lifeway Research did a 30-year project where they studied the impacts of different discipleship inputs, things that people would do, and what that might relate to, how that correlated to different impacts in their lives. And they found that there were 3 inputs that positively impact all of the outputs that they were measuring. Those 3 impacts are not terribly surprising, but it was interesting to see the research that backs it up. The inputs that impact every part of our lives are reading the Bible regularly, gathering together with other people to study God's Word, to pray together, to encourage each other in a group setting, and worship. Those 3 inputs impact our lives in profound ways. In fact, even atheists and sociologists who have studied this subject from a very secular perspective have come to the conclusion that, in fact, worship is something that is helpful for human beings. There's all sorts of ways that worship helps lower our blood pressure, increase our health. It has positive impacts socially, so much so that even atheists are encouraging other atheists to start going to church because there's no other place quite like it where these impacts are found. Worship impacts us positively, but you don't have to take my word. You can look at the studies yourself, let the research speak on its own. My question for us, though, is what is our next step of worship participation? What might that look like for you? Here at Lazarus Church, we not only gather on Sunday mornings for worship, and we love for people to make that a regular part of their family's rhythm, but we also encourage people to engage in family worship, taking time to read, pray, and sing in a household setting. Whether that's alone or with somebody else, taking time to gather together with whoever is your closest circle to read God's Word, to say a prayer, and if you're comfortable, sing a song. Now, not all of us have the best voices, and not all of us are musically gifted, and that's okay. It's more so about taking time to return praise to God rather than doing it right. What might it look like for you to engage worship in a corporate setting and at home, in your household, among those who are in your closest circle? What is your next step in engaging this rhythm of discipleship more? And how can we at Lazarus help?